Maxx Crosby is gone, and this fan base is collectively holding its breath for a savior to emerge from the total chaos. But did Las Vegas just make a massive $48 million mistake, or a completely misunderstood, under-the-radar genius move? Let's dive deep into the absolute bombshell signing of Kwity Paye and uncover what this really means for the silver and black defense. If you bleed silver and black and want the raw, unfiltered truth on all our latest roster moves, hit that like button, share this video with a fellow fan, and subscribe right now. Listen to me closely. The exact minute the Maxx Crosby trade became our new, unfortunate reality, a gigantic, terrifying void opened up at the defensive end position. We all knew the front office had to make a desperate move, and they absolutely did not hesitate. They went out and inked former first-round pick Kwity Paye. According to the absolute latest breaking report from Jordan Schultz, sources confirmed the former Indianapolis Colts edge rusher is locking in with Las Vegas on a 3-year, $48 million contract. That is a massive transaction, and frankly, it is a fascinating one. When Paye was originally coming out of Michigan, I was totally bought into his hype. I saw a defensive prospect with an astronomically high ceiling, someone who could transform into an absolute game wrecker. But the massive key word hovering over his entire career was always development. He played 74 tough games for the Colts. He racked up 30.5 career sacks, including 4.5 during this most recent season. Some harsh critics out there are incredibly quick to permanently slap the bust label right on his forehead. They loudly point to his draft pedigree and ask if he actually has what it takes to be a lethal, pure pass rusher. But ask yourself this right now, does a defense truly need a flashy, elite sack artist to completely dominate the trenches in today's modern NFL? That is the absolute million-dollar question. To find the real answer, I did not just look at a basic stat sheet. I locked myself in and spent a solid half-hour purely digesting Kwity Paye's tape from Indianapolis. I had to see it with my own 2 eyes before making this video, because defensive end is the one single position this franchise absolutely cannot afford to mess up. We desperately need guys who can strike pure fear into the opposing quarterback. And I have to be brutally honest with you guys right now. Kwity Paye is not that terrifying, elite pass rusher. I am not saying he is totally incapable of getting home. 30.5 sacks proves he can find the quarterback. But he is not in that elite upper echelon. When you look at what we had in Maxx Crosby, you witnessed a masterclass in edge technique. Crosby had the elite quickness, the violent hands, the devastating swim moves, the lightning-fast spins. He had an entire, lethal arsenal at his disposal. Kwity Paye simply does not possess that diverse toolbox. When it comes to attacking the pocket, Paye actually reminds me a lot more of Tyree Wilson than he ever will of Maxx Crosby. Now, do not panic, because Paye is significantly faster than Wilson. He is actually right up there in the same neighborhood as Crosby when it comes to raw quickness, though Crosby undoubtedly still has the slight edge. But speed alone does not make you elite. Paye will collapse the pocket, absolutely. He uses a heavy bull rush, and he has a very effective swim move that clearly serves as his absolute go-to move on tape. But the undeniable reality is that Las Vegas is marching into this new season without a premier, top-tier edge threat on the roster. Now, that definitely does not mean we are completely doomed. We hold the 14th overall pick, and we could absolutely draft a terrifying rookie edge rusher. We could also dip back into free agency. But guys, have you looked at the defensive end market lately? It is completely out of control. I will not sugarcoat it, the guy I was desperately hoping we would land was Odafe. I was screaming for him all week long. But then he signed a jaw-dropping 4-year, $100 million contract. $25 million a season for Oweh. I thought maybe we could steal him for $8 to $12 million, but the market completely exploded. And it makes sense when you look at the landscape. Micah Parsons pulled in $45 million last year. Myles Garrett is sitting at $43 million. When Crosby gets his new deal, he will effortlessly demand close to $40 million. Danielle Hunter just inked a 1-year, $40 million contract 2 days ago. The top tier is cemented at $40 million. The next tier down, maybe even the third tier where Oweh arguably belongs, is commanding $20 to $26 million. Paying Odafe over $25 million feels wildly inflated. Then you have Boye Mafe leaving the Seattle Seahawks for $20 million a season. I look at Mafe and I genuinely do not believe he is a better player than Malcolm Koonce. Koonce battled injuries, while Mafe stayed healthy, but a fully healthy Koonce is a significantly superior pass rusher. If Mafe is getting $20 million, I am terrified to see what Koonce will command. If Koonce takes another discount on a one-year deal, securing him for $12 million would be the ultimate, massive steal of the offseason. Here is my absolutely controversial question of the day that I need you to answer in the comments right now. Would you rather have a wildly expensive, elite pass rusher who gets completely gashed in the run game, or a versatile, rock-solid run defender like Kwity Paye anchoring your defensive line for a fraction of the cost? Let me know your thoughts down below. Because when you look at Kwity Paye making $16 million a year, you must acknowledge what he actually brings to the table. Personally, I firmly believe a fully healthy Malcolm Koonce is a much better overall player than Kwity Paye. But Paye offers something this defense desperately needs: absolute schematic versatility. He is a phenomenal scheme fit. In a 3-4 front, he can line up flawlessly on the outside as a true edge setter. But he is incredibly strong, meaning he can slide inside and play the 4-eye or the 5 technique alongside the interior lineman. He did this constantly for the Colts. When we drop into heavy short yardage fronts with 5 or 6 men on the line, Paye has the raw physical power to bump inside and absolutely thrive. Malcolm Koonce just does not have the sheer power to survive inside like that. If an offense goes hurry up on a critical 4th and 1, Paye can instantly shift down to the 3 technique and blow up the play. He is a phenomenally strong, incredibly physical run defender. The Seattle Seahawks proved something incredibly important this most recent season. You do not strictly need superstar, elite pass rushers to have a dominant defensive unit. Yes, you definitely need guys who can generate pressure, but more importantly, you need defensive linemen who can simply beat the man lined up directly across from them and completely shut down the run game without extra help. Kwity Paye and Tyree Wilson give us exactly that kind of gritty, run-stopping power. I look at defensive line coach Rob Leonard and the philosophy he is building, and I think the entire strategy is shifting. With Crosby gone, we are pivoting to a run-stopping, heavy-handed base defense. We want to stop the run with our front 4 so our safeties can stay deep in coverage instead of constantly cheating down into the box. That is exactly why you gladly pay a guy like Kwity Paye $16 million. The massive lingering question is whether Coach Leonard can truly develop Paye's pass rush. Leonard is an incredible coach, but historically, he has thrived with speed-based and quickness-based guys. He significantly elevated Malcolm Koonce, Charles Snowden, and Clavon Chaisson. But he has unfortunately struggled to develop heavier, power-based guys like Tyree Wilson. We are all praying that Kwity Paye can break that frustrating mold and take a massive leap forward. Because if you look around the NFL, having big-name elite players does not automatically buy you wins. Myles Garrett is legendary, but he alone does not guarantee his team victory. The Baltimore Ravens fielded an elite defense last year, but it does not carry you all the way alone. A great defense can close out a game, but a phenomenal offensive attack paired with a brilliantly coached, scheme-sound defense is what actually wins games. Look at Vic Fangio. He elevates his entire unit through pure coordinating genius. If Rob Leonard can dial up simulated pressures and creeper blitzes, sliding guys like Paye, Koonce, and Snowden into coverage to confuse the quarterback and take away the running back, this defense could be incredibly dangerous. Overall, the front office is executing a very calculated plan heading into the season. By the way, every single one of these recent signings is strategically structured. Jalen Nailor, Tyler Linderbaum, Eric Stokes, and now Kwity Paye, they all signed deals that are technically 2-year contracts in spirit. What I mean is, they are 3-year contracts on paper, but only carry exactly 2 years of strictly guaranteed money. Jordan Schultz confirmed Paye's deal is structured exactly this way. That gives the franchise massive flexibility moving forward. It has been a very solid day for Las Vegas. You are not massively overpaying, but you are spending your cap to genuinely improve the roster. And do not overlook the incredible news that dropped just hours ago. We officially landed 2 additional compensatory draft picks, an extra 4th rounder, and an extra 5th rounder. The Raiders are sitting in a spectacular spot heading into the rest of free agency and the draft. If we can just nail these upcoming picks and get our offensive line firing, this is going to be a fascinating season.